G'day guys. Today I'm going to be breaking down how artifacts work. I've had a lot of people in my community ask me about how set effects work in this game, how attributes work, how does the transferring system work, or just how to get your artifacts better in general. So today I'm going to try cover everything that I have learned in this game and what I've been taught by my community as well over the past couple of days to do with artifacts. I hope that I can help some people out that are confused. I try to cover everything the best I can in this video, but we'll see how that goes. So just bear with me, but I hope this helps and enjoy. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start with the slot system in the game and the artifact filtering and the attributes that they can roll with. So in this game, you have 4 different slots. You have slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, and slot 4, which is indicated by the little Roman numeral number at the top. So this one's slot 4, and this is slot 1. They indicate the numbers. Now, slot 1 and slot 2 can only roll with defensive stats. So, defense boost, melee damage resistance, overshield, you name it, HP, recovery, etc., etc. You can see that by clicking this little icon next to the recommend down the very bottom. This is the filter option. So you can do all your filtering here and choose. So if you want only exotics, mythics, etc., etc. If you click on the attribute, you can filter by attribute, but also it tells you what attributes can actually roll on that said piece, right? So this is, like I said, all the defensive stats. Now the next thing is recommended for the character particular. So if you're using Tan or Ning, or Gwyn, they will be recommended differently. So for Yolda, for example, she's recommended to have like damage, range damage resistance, melee damage resistance, overshield, defense, um, you know, basic tank stuff. She's quite, she's a tanky person. Ning might have something different. Like he might have some other things that are recommended. I personally always highly recommend having defense boost. It's very very strong, and shield boost is always really nice because it gives you extra shield. And elemental resistance. I think elemental resistance is a very very nice one because it gives you resistances to like every element, which is like super nice for certain people like Ning in my opinion. So good for Ning. Okay. So the slot 3 and slot 4, they're going to be damage attributes. So they tell you your damage that you like. So you're going to have like your signature, which is your signatures, which is your 2 abilities, not including your super. Super is different. Signatures are your other abilities. You have your certain type of boost. So void boost is for Yolda. You'll obviously have like Tan, Solar, Arc is Ning. Um, these are just basic damage boosting stuff. So these can only roll in slot 3 and slot 4. The defense is on slot 1 and slot 2. Okay, so secondly, I'm going to explain the way that the attribute score works in this game. So the way that the attribute score works is it's additive between your individual slots. So slot 1 and slot 2 are the defensive stats. So if I, for example, have defensive boost on this one and I have defensive boost on this one, it actually adds the stats together, which is how the tiering system works. So currently right now, I'm at tier 8 because I have over 180 points, right? And the way that I got over 180 points is because I have defense boost on artifact number 1 and artifact number 2, right? Which totals up to 183 because 50 plus 40 and 52 plus 41. In total, these will equal 183. So that's how the stat system works, and the tiering system works with these. Now, another thing to note, by the way, is see how this is plus 50, right? The maximum roll that you can get on these is going to be 55, right? So the max roll that I can acquire is 55, which means this one is 5 stats off, this one is like 3, and this one is 4. Um, the same thing applies to exotics. The only difference with exotics is the fact that you have an extra slot. So you have like an extra element, or defense, or damage boost, etc., etc. So that's the only difference between exotics and mythics. Mythics are just as good. It's just this one has an extra slot. So focus on getting your mythics up first. Because these will honestly be a huge boost, and they're a lot cheaper than the exotics. Okay, so I'm gonna explain more about how the attribute score rolling works. So how I explained before how I have 50, right? And the maximum roll is 55. The minimum roll is 35, right? So when I'm saying roll, it's like a kind of like a gambling system where you can roll anywhere between 35 and 55, right? 55 being the best, 35 being the lowest, right? But you can improve these, but they get very, very costly, okay? So they get really expensive, but you can improve them. So how you improve them is you go to the modify option and you go artifact refactor, right? In the artifact refactor, what you can do is you can spend resources that you've collected to then change the stat values of them randomly rolled. Now, what's going to happen is if you roll 3 times and you do not like your stats, what's going to happen after that is it's going to guarantee you a stat increase on these, right? It'll guarantee a stat increase. So that's how the luck system works. And it gets more and more and more expensive the closer you get to 55, right? Because they obviously don't want you to get like perfect stats. They want to make it as hard as possible. So that's how the refractor works. So I'll just show you here, right? So rolling this one, this was terrible. It was absolutely terrible, right? Bad. But see how my luck went up? Luck 1 out of 3. So I'm going to roll again. So this is 42. You know, this is pretty decent. I could take this actually. See how these are actual stat increases and it's genuinely good. My luck went down again because these are actually better. So you can use the new attributes. You keep on rolling and now its minimum is going to be this. This is going to be the minimum threshold, but its luck went up to 6. So the more you roll, the more expensive it gets. So this one's better once again. I'll keep it. You keep rolling again, 75. It's a stat increase, so you keep it. Keep rolling again. See, this one's a negative. So because this one's a negative, right, what's going to happen is your luck goes up because it was a bad roll, right? So you use the refractor again. It was bad again. Luck went up to 2. It went down now because this one's technically better. So you can use this new attribute. So I'm going to show you what actually happens when you get maximum luck. So I'm gonna keep doing this as quick as I can to show you what happens. Okay. So this is what happens when you get maximum luck. Now we're at plus 12 luck, right? So when we refactor, the next one is going to be guaranteed higher stats, right? On one of them. It won't guarantee all of them will be high, but it'll guarantee a +1. So one of these is going to be a +1. Yep, boom. There's my luck done. So as you can see, it went from 50 to 51. That's what the luck-based system is. And that is why it can get very, very expensive. Because if I had to do these rerolls for every single one of these and get +1 on every single one, this would take 10 rolls just to get that to max. This would take 4, and this would take 2, right? So that's 16 rolls that I need to do, right? Just to get this all the way up, right? 16 times 12, right? 16 times 12. That's a lot of rolls. And this will even go up even more. Like the more stats you get, this gets higher. Like I think on one of my artifacts right now, I'm at like plus 15 or something for this. Yeah, this is like plus 15 and this is only at 50, 51, 52. Like this is going to get really high. So this is why it's very expensive. Okay, so now I'm going to explain what set effects are. So set effects are these little bonuses down here. So they're granting 38.4 percent potency to healing and overshields. That's what a set effect is. These little extra stats down here. They don't relate to this saying overshield at all. So this one says movement. What this refers to is what the actual set effect is going to do. It doesn't mean you have to run overshield, 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 and overshield. You can run like overshield, movement, impact. Like you can run like multiple different sets on these. Like you don't have to be running a quad overshield. That's not what a set effect does, and that doesn't give you any bonuses in the game. All this refers to is what this is doing down the bottom. So it's just saying like this one is good for overshield characters. It's saying like if you run overshield, this set's going to be good for that because it grants, you know, extra healing and overshields received. That's all that refers to. It's why this one down here says while you're stationary in bold, referring to movement, because while you're stationary, you're not moving, right? That's why it's a movement set. That's what it's referring to, not actually having to run like all movement or all, you know, overshield, etc., etc. Okay. The next thing is going to be the attribute score. So the attribute scores is referring to this number right here, right? In total. So this is 55, 66, 72, 88, etc., etc. If you added all of these numbers up, right, you would get 1062. So I have currently 192 overshield bonus. So if I looked at my gear, it says 192. That's referring to 55 plus 44 plus 52 plus 41. These two combined equal 192, right? That's what that's getting the number from. That's what's adding it. So that's why if you add all these stats, you get about 1,000 or over the 1,062. Now, how the tiering system for the set effect works is you need to reach a certain number to get a certain tier. So 300 is for tier 2, 588 is for tier 3, 1054 is for tier 4, and for tier 5, you need over 1440. Now, the tier 5 is only for exotics, so that means you have to run a full set of exotics. But for mythics, you can obtain tier 4, which is honestly very good. All right, so now I'm going to explain to you what the attribute transfer is. So a lot of people don't understand the attribute transfer, right? What attribute transfer is it transfers the attributes, not like damage bonus boost, weapon enhancement, ability. It doesn't transfer these, okay? What it means is the actual number of your attributes, right? So 49, 51, 51. Like in this one is 38, 39, 40. Those are your attribute numbers. That's what it means it's going to transfer. So what you do is this is the attribute one that I've leveled up, right? So this is the one that I've spent a lot of time on, right? This is the one that I've refactored a lot, right? So this is the one that I've put a lot of effort into getting higher stats. So it has 49, 51, 51. And how I do the transfer, right? So I found this one, right? Which is signature boost, void, and ability, right? I want these stats. I do not want damage boost anymore. For Yolda, I don't want that. You know, I don't want weapon enhancement. I just want signature, void, and ability. So this is like the perfect one that I found, right? So what I'm gonna do to transfer is I'm gonna go to the one that I currently have that has the 49, 51, 51, the good attributes, right? And I'm gonna modify on it. And then what you do is you go to the attribute transfer, right? You will then find your artifact in here. So my one is this one, the ability strength, the void, and the signature. This is the one that I wanted to put the good attributes on. So it's telling me that if I transfer this, I'm going to transfer the 51, 51, and 49 to this artifact. So this is what it's going to turn out to be. It's going to be 51, 51, and 49. So if I transfer that, it's going to be like, okay, it transferred successfully. Now, my current brand new one is now going to have the signature, the void, and the ability strength, all at 49, 51, 51, without me having to go and level it all up again. Instead of me having to use Artifact Refractor all over again, I have just transferred all of my stats over. It works like this for every single one of them. So if I wanted to transfer to void boost, damage boost, and ability strength, I'd do the same thing. Modify, attribute transfer, find the one that I want to transfer the 51, 51, 49 to, right? I'll find that particular one, which could be this one. Let's say I want damage boost. I'll transfer it to this artifact, right? And it'll put the stats on this one. So that's how the transferring works. So that's going to be everything for the artifacts video. I hope I covered everything to give you guys a better understanding of like how they work and stuff like that. I don't think I missed anything. I hope I covered everything that you guys probably ask or want to know about. If you guys like have any questions that I didn't cover in this video, you're more than welcome to ask me and I'll try my best to, help out. If you also want to ask me anything, I'm live on twitch.tv/it's Avos every day. I'll put a link down below to my Twitch channel if you guys want to drop me a follow or come watch me if you have any more questions. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. Take care.